have made a trade, and a trade that we all wanted to see. Some of us hope to see. The Bears have acquired wide receiver Chase Claypool from the Steelers for a second-round pick. We're going to get into that, break it down a little bit right after this.
Now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right, Bears fans, the Chicago Bears have made a trade after the disappointment around the Bears fan base after trading Roquan Smith for only a second round and a fourth or fifth round pick. We end up getting a wide receiver, a weapon for Justin Fields for a second round pick. And so if you look at this trade overall, right, if you combine the two trades, the Bears have basically traded Roquan Smith and a second round pick to get another second round pick, a fifth pick in Chase Claypool. That is a solid trade. As many Bears fans that were down on the Roquan Smith trade, I think this goes a long way in hopefully solving that. You get an additional weapon for Justin Fields, a really good wide receiver Chase Claypool, a big target for him for 238 pounds. He has 32 receptions on the year for 311 yards so far, only one touchdown, but he is going to be a big weapon for the Chicago Bears team. And, you know, pairing him with Darnell Mooney, it's going to unlock Darnell Mooney a little bit more like we saw when Darnell Mooney had A-Rob with him. So the benefits that this brings to this Bears offense, a Bears offense at that has been adding more wrinkles and more and just looking better as an offense overall, adding an additional weapon to that. How does that help the running game? How does it help teams not box in so much on the run? Does that unlock also Cole Kmet a little bit more? There's a lot of benefits to this trade. And while, yes, a lot of people down on the Roquan Smith trade, rightfully so, and I understood that. The Bears have now gone out and gotten a weapon. It's not all about the draft picks. For those that were like, you don't trade guaranteed talent for draft picks, this, all valid. I don't say that to be dismissive, but the Bears go out and get the weapon that they want and many people need. This is a move. This is a move that needed to be done. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. What do you say here? Super chat. Bears took an L here. Overpay. No, get the see, and this is the problem. This is the at least in my opinion, is that you know they say things are underpaid when it's not what they wanted to overpay. Listen, this was not an overpay. That what Chase Claypool is going to mean for the Chicago Bears team, like I said, is going to pay off bigger dividends. You're unlocking Darnell Mooney a little bit more as well. The fact that now teams can't double him. He hasn't had a surefire wide receiver 2 next to him all season long. The combination that him and A-Rob did last season, this is going to get back to that type of thing. We could now see Equinami St. Brown used a little bit more. Velus Jones used a little bit more in the running game. Chase Claypool could be used in the running game as well. Not a bunch of carries over his career. He has 39 carries over his career for 32 yards, but that possibility is there. It adds more wrinkles. I do not personally see this as an overpay at all. I see this as listen, the Bears go out and get a player at a position of need for them. Ryan Poles did what needed to be done in this. This was a solid trade. Again, I'm not saying it was the most amazing trade. Did they rob them? Hell no. But I don't think that this was an overpay, in my opinion. And I think you're going to see that pay off on the field for the Chicago Bears as well. That's huge, man. That's huge. We're going to see a competent offense in this building. Sirius Jones saying that Claypool is a vertical threat. Abso-freaking-lutely, he's a vertical threat. That's going to help this team a lot. What's up, Haize? Just tweeted you. The second round pick we got for Roquan is what they traded for Claypool. We turned Roquan to Claypool. There's a shift in philosophy, defense to offense. Listen, and the thing is, right, as good as Roquan Smith was, he is leading the league in tackles, right? He has not made a bunch of impact plays for this team. And while this team is so far away, right, the defense is the one thing that you can take talent away from, right? And hopefully he stays pretty close. Roquan, while he didn't make the impact plays, those amount of tackles, that's going to be hard to fill and change for any team. But at the end of the day, we still have tons of draft picks. We still have tons of cap space. They went out and got him and what they can do, and they did that thing. Forget him as a rushing threat. He can catch. That's what we need, period. Absolutely. I just try to add on more things that he can do just because I look at this offense now. From the Chicago Bears, this is an offense that's growing. This is an offense that has been adding just more to it, opening up that playbook a little bit more, getting more creative a little bit more over the last 2 to 3 weeks. You add now a vertical threat in Chase Claypool. Our passing game is going to be way more of a threat than what has been this whole season, how does that change for the running game now? I was a little bit concerned that they were going to include David Montgomery in a trade like this. Thank God that they did not. You keep all of your offensive weapons, you add to the core, and then you continue seeing you still have all the upside that we had last year. You still have all in the linebacker class. This is what I'll say. The linebacker class in both the draft and free agency next year, I'm not saying we're going to get a player that's going to be as good as Roquan Smith, but I'm saying you can get a competent one. The wide receiver free agent class, it's a little bit iffy. The wide receiver draft class is pretty solid too, but I like what they did here. I like what they did here, man. And listen, we've been saying this is a turn the page move for an offense. I don't know if that's C-Dub or Bobby. Those are my co-hosts here. This is how you turn things around. Absolutely. And we've been talking about here that steady improvement from this offense in the last 4 weeks, really. You now add a weapon like Chase Claypool to the team, and still a young player, only 24, that fits your timeline, right? He fits in that timeline of Justin Fields and Darnell Mooney and David Montgomery and Khalil Herbert, right? You have a nice young core of weapons here that you still need to add to, right? We're still not, we still got a ways to go, especially on that offensive line. But when you look at it now, we have 2 solid wide receivers. We still have some other threats at the wide receiver that can do some things, especially now. Equinami St. Brown moving to the slot. That can pay off for them. If Velus Jones ever put it together, we'll see when we ever get Byron Pringle back as well. You add now a solid, not great, a solid passing game that this can turn into to your amazing leading rushing game. And then now, over the course of the offseason, you do some additions on that offensive line. Hopefully you can get Cole Kmet opened up a little bit more as well during the season. This is an offense with great bones. Like you said, for people who know houses and you buy houses and flip them, it has great bones of the structure of this offense. You got some additions to do. You got to hope for some development over the course of the season and the offseason, but we have great bones now on our offensive side of the ball that we can continue to build towards as we have our quarterback in Justin Fields, who is proving that he's the quarterback of the future with the development and growth he's done over the last handful of weeks. I like this move overall from this team. For this team. BC always right says, I was at game Sunday. It was painfully obvious we need a big-time wide receiver. There you go. Joshua, love it. King Booker World, and here we go. Listen, this is exciting. When's the last time the Bears made a trade like this close to the trade deadline, which we still got 2 hours left for the trade deadline, that just really is exactly what they needed? That's it. It's exactly what they needed. You have a quarterback that's coming off his career high passer rating of 120, and what we've been saying, he has no weapons. So it is what it is, man. And then we swooped in and nabbed a wide receiver that the Green Bay Packers, those fucking cheeseheads, were after. You take a weapon away from a team that we don't like, we hate, it is what it is, and you add that to your young core. And again, the thing that I like about this so much is the age there. 24 years old. Yes, everybody can say he's not been an amazing, like, world beater of a wide receiver, but there's still a lot of growth and development to do there. And one thing that we know about Ryan Poles is he likes bringing in players that he sees the potential in for growth, but also have some assets that we need right now. Chase Claypool brings what we need next to Darnell Mooney, but still has upside at being only 24 years old. We have a 25-year-old rookie in Velus Jones that we were hoping was going to progress. We now have a 24-year-old wide receiver that's shown a lot of promise already in the NFL and can still do some growth. The combination of him and Darnell Mooney, that is going to be woo. That's going to be, listen. And I think both Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney are up for extensions this offseason. Don't be surprised if they both get them early in the offseason as well. They lock that up. Listen, it is. I like this, man. I like this. I really do like this, man. I'm not under this at all. Looks like Claypool is actually under contract through 2023. So there you go. And there's been some. Now, do you move Darnell Mooney to receiver 2 where he was successful last? Again, I don't want to speculate on all that. If you guys can't tell, I'm excited. I'm super excited. Sirius Jones says, now we can focus on defense in the draft. Well, we still need to do some work on that offensive line for sure. And if a weapon does fall on another potential wide receiver, I think they'll still go after that. But you're right. You could now focus a lot of your picks on The defensive side of the ball, which we still have some great bones on the defensive side of the ball to build off of as well. Let's see what Dominique Robinson, the rookie, turns into over the course of the season. We got Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, who's been showing a lot of promise and growth the last few weeks as well. I really like where this team is. Really like where this team is. BCR question: do anyone know how much is his contract? Let's take a look. Give me 1 second. And somebody might already answer this. It looks like he signed a 4-year, $6 million deal. So again, not even that much. He has $3 million of guaranteed money. And keep in mind that because this trade happened after today, this close to the deadline, the Steelers do not keep any of his money. We are assuming all of the money. So it's not like what we in the trades that we recently completed, in which we gave up a lot of the money. So it looks like this season, Chase Claypool is only making under $1 million. He's making $673,000. Now next season he will be making $1.5 million. So again, a very minimal contract for a young player that's shown a bunch of promise. This is a good one. BC says rookie contract is always is right. Listen, this is what it is. What up, Haize? You must be Jamaican. You have too many jobs. LOL, great work. Find someone to help Justin Fields. Now, O-line help this offseason. Yes, and I do have a lot of jobs. I got a video uploading on NBA Central, not Bull Central, NBA Central, about Steve Nash being fired. That's uploading now as well. Maybe live by now. So we're working out here, bro. We're working. Emilio says trade Jackson for more picks, and this makes sense. We'll see. I don't know if the Bears are done. I have heard some rumblings that the Bears could be very active close to the trade deadline. So we'll see. And if you remember correctly, there were a lot of Bears fans that thought that because Cole Kmet and Chase Claypool were in the same draft, they thought the Bears should have went after Claypool instead of Cole Kmet in that draft. So now we have both of them on this roster. Bond, they can still go out and draft a wide receiver too. Absolutely, bro. Mark K from Mannheim, Germany, checking in. What's going on, bro? Gary in this building. In polls we trust yet, Haize? Yes. Listen, we started off this season. C-Dub, one of the co-hosts here, laid it out. We were going to find out whether Ryan Poles was a genius or a jackass over the course of the season. I think it's safe to say he's leaning way more towards the genius side of it. Like I said before, with a lot of the things that Ryan Poles has done leading back to the offseason, if you look at those moves in a vacuum, some of them do seem bad. But now when everything is, the whole picture starting to come together, and this Roquan Smith trade is the perfect snapshot of that, because we get a second-round pick in that Roquan Smith trade that we immediately turn around the next day and move for a weapon at wide receiver that we've needed. So Ryan Poles is a smart GM. Now we need to see if all these moves are going to pan out. We need to see who he drafts next offseason and how they end up developing. But when you look like getting Dominique Robinson as a 5th-round pick, the amount of quality players he was able to get in the draft, now we'll see how they turn into. But, he's done a very good job turning this team around in less than a calendar year. In less than a year. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Octopool Possum says, happy we took something from those Packer fucks. Listen, you guys know I hate the cheeseheads. I hate cheeseheads, and I'm glad that we took something from, and it seemed like they were in the driver's seat to get it. It seems like the Bears swooped in after them making that Roquan Smith trade. Probably, if I had to guess, this is pure speculation on my part. If I had to guess, what happened is that the Steelers wanted that second-round pick. Ryan Poles did not want to give up our own second-round pick because he's like, hey, we kind of need this. He moves Roquan, who still an impact player in many ways. He gets that second-round pick that he immediately flips, and he still nets an additional 5th-round pick in that. This is a solid trade overall. If you look at these two moves as being as one larger move, right? For example, if you look this as a 3-team trade, for example, the Bears came out in very, very well, moving Roquan, and basically they moved Roquan. Then the Ravens sent their second-round pick to the Steelers. We got Chase Claypool back, and we got a 5th-rounder from the Ravens. That's a win of a trade. If you look at that, right? Again, is Roquan amazing? Yes, he is. He's one of the best linebackers in the NBA. But I mean, in the NFL, NBA would be real weird. In the NFL, but when you look at the money that he wanted, right? Him wanting and them not being even close on a contract extension, you move a player that was probably going to move on anyway. You now don't have to deal with the franchise tagging or anything like that. You move that player, you bring in a younger player at a position of need, and you get an additional draft pick in that. This was an overall good 2 days at the trade deadline for Ryan Poles and the Chicago Bears. That's crazy. That's crazy. Von Ella says, can't say Poles isn't in on Fields now. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Good-ish, Haize. Keep doing your thing. Keep us informed, brother. I likes the content. Hey, listen, I always say this is the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, and we can't be that if we're not breaking news. I was going to pre-record this video and then upload it, but I figured, hell, let's go live. Let's get the thoughts of Bears Nation in this building, and I can get your comments. We can see how Bears Nation is feeling about this trade. Darrell Park says Mooney just got so much better. Absolutely. I talked about that earlier in the stream. The way that he looked next to A-Rob. Now you add another wide receiver, a legit one next to him. And, there are some people now saying that, you move Darnell Mooney to the 2. I don't care if Darnell Mooney's the 1 or the 2. I'm looking at him and Chase Claypool as both. They're really kind of, and this may get me killed in the comments, but when you look at both of them, they're really kind of really, really good 2s, right? Really, really good 2s. No, neither one to me has stood out as surefire number 1 wide receivers in the NFL. But even with having 2 really, really good 2s, we've seen what this Bears team can do without that. And adding that now to Luke Getsy's offense that has been making steady improvements, this is a really big, really good trade for the Chicago Bears overall. See what else we got. Bears will be good next year. Got to stay focused on your youth and set us up for the immediate future. Let's get it, Poles. Yeah, and Ryan Poles has said that recently. He's come out and said how he has to manage the now, but also with this towards the future. This is a good move for that. This is a good move where you're doing things now. You're giving up a second-round pick, which, some people can say that was, but with the amount of picks and the cap space that the Bears have, after you now get, basically you get, 9 games left. You get 9 games to look at Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney together with Justin Fields to see what this looks like. And then you can go in and you can take a look really and say, hey, all right, do we need to add another really, really good wide receiver? Can we focus this money on the defensive end? Can we focus on the offensive line and then get a pretty solid wide receiver? Or can we draft one? You really get a good opportunity, and I like the fact that they made this trade now because there's enough time left in the season to get him integrated, get him and Justin Fields working on their chemistry, and then to really see what this combination looks like. It's going to be a good move overall for this team, I feel like. I really like this. Makes Roquan trade worth it. Absolutely. Shocked the hell out of me and just opened the booze. What time is it in Mannheim, bro? Haize, won't lie. You and Pat have inspired me to start YouTube channel. Hopes to have y'all on someday. Listen, I'm supportive of everybody in this community, whether you want to cover the Bulls, the Bears, the Blackhawks, whatever else. If you want to cover anything, do it, bro. And it's like you just got to be passionate about it. The thing that I always say in this game, if you do and talk about what you're passionate about, you'll never get burnt out. For me, when you hear about creatives that talk about burnout, it's because they're not doing what they truly love. I love the Bears. I love the Bulls. I even love the Chicago Sky, which is why I cover them. And even though I put so much time and energy and record these daily shows for them, I have never once felt burnt out. In less than 400 days, I have posted 600 episodes of Chicago Bulls Central. And you know what? I've never gotten tired of it. Not once have I ever woke up and said, I don't really know if I want to do this today. It's because the passion has to be there first. So go after there and get it, bro. Once you get it started, let me know. I'll be on anytime. I've always said, I don't care if you got 5 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers. If you want me there to talk about what I love, I'm there. So just let me know, bro. Hit me up in the email, on Twitter, whatever you need to do. All right, let's see what else we got. Henderson says, I respect Poles sticking to the plan and building the team for the future and not just the now. Poles believer, bear down. That's it. That's all you got to say. Smear60 says, thoughts on the trade. What do you think I've been here saying, bro? I've been giving my thoughts on this trade, brother. That's my little brother, Smear60, man. I love Smear60. You got to rewind a little bit, bro. The Bears wide receiver drafts almost always suck, so why not go for someone that's solid? Very good point from Miguel in that aspect. What we think about him in the locker room, definitely got a personality on him. Well, I like my wide receivers with personality personally. And I think the culture that we've built and changed here in the Chicago Bears organization, what Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, and that coaching staff has built here, I think if you absorb a team into a player into a good chemistry, right? A good culture is the word I'm looking for. Then I think it can mitigate that, right? And I think they're going to be good with that. They have a strong-minded head coach there, so I think it's going to be fun. I definitely think it's going to be fun. Need to re-sign Harry, and Claypool with chemistry with Fields could be scary. Yeah, I mean, we'll remain to be seen, man. It could be really, really good for this team. Absolutely. I don't like this trade. We gave up our own second-round pick for Claypool. Claypool isn't great. I'm low on this trade at the moment. Well, I've heard some conflicting things. I've heard that it's our own second-round pick. I've heard that it's the pick we got for Roquan. But either way, we still got a second-round pick back, right? And best believe that Ryan Poles, I'm trying to see if I can find some validation on which one it is. Oh, it is our own pick. So it is our own pick. It is our own pick. I mean, we still have our own first, though. We got plenty of picks. Like, I'm not really worried about the picks because of how many bites at the apple that we have. I'm not necessarily worried that even if it's our own pick. And keep in mind, if Chase Claypool comes in and builds chemistry with Justin Fields, our own pick could get worse. Hopefully it gets worse. And but it is what it is, though. It is what it is. I'm really just not worried about where the pick is because listen, the pick thing, you could get a wide receiver with huge upside, but you know what you have in Chase Claypool. And Chase Claypool is only 24 years old. Only 24. So he still has some upside to him. Of course, not as much as a player drafted in the second round, but you still have a lot of potential there in Chase Claypool, shown a lot. So we still have our own first. We got the Ravens second. We got our own third and fourth. We got a fourth rounder from the Eagles. We got another fifth rounder. We got a fifth rounder from the Ravens and a seventh round pick. Here's the thing. If the second round that we see a player that we need to move up for, the Bears have more than enough assets to do so. So I'm not really worried about that. I say it's the Ravens. Well, I'm looking at a tweet from this tweet just came out from Adam Schefter. And Adam Schefter tweeted this 5 minutes ago, and he says the second round pick that Chicago traded to Pittsburgh is its own pick, not the second round pick that the Bears received from the Ravens. So that's according to Adam Schefter. So I haven't seen any updates since that. He just tweeted that 5 minutes ago. So I tend to believe that's what it is. With CC, EQ, and Harry, do we have one of the biggest size wide receiver cores? Well, the thing is, N'Keal Harry has shown a lot of flashes and looks really good. EQ really good, but I mean, at the end of the day, I care about talent, man. We got some talent on this team, but I mean, I'm sure we do. That's a lot of all 6'4", EQ 6'4", so he's 6'2". That is a nice tall base. Nice tall base. Daniel Watson, Claypool is good, but still seems we got the most second-tier wide receivers. Well, I said that earlier. I don't know if you were in the stream. I did say we really kind of have, in Darnell Mooney and Chase Claypool, we have two surefire number 2 wide receivers, right? But the thing is we've seen teams be successful in that, and we're not done, right? This is not the final version of the Chicago Bears offense. This is just a move to get more talent in this team that needed a talent infusion and more weapons on the offensive side. We still can see, can Darnell Mooney develop into that true number 1? Hell, can Chase Claypool, who's only 24 years old, develop into a more surefire number 1? And we still got tons of draft picks, tons of cap space. If we do see by the end of the season, oh no, we need a surefire number 1. We need a lockdown number 1 wide receiver. We can possibly go out and get one. So this is not the final version of this Bears roster. So we'll see. Johnny with the super chat. Hey, thank you for supporting the channel at that level. Do you feel like we're going to rise up finally? I think listen, the offense has been steadily improving over the last 4 weeks. I think that we're going to, man, this is going to be a good team. This is going to be not a great team. It's still probably this season, not a team that's going to get a lot of wins, right? We'll see how this translates into wins for the Bears. But you have a team that's 3-5 with 9 games left on the season. Is there a possibility that the Bears win 6 out of those last 8 games? There's a possibility of it. right? 6 out of the last 9 games. I keep fluctuating on what the fuck I'm saying. But there's a possibility of it. Could we end up at an 8 or 9 win team? I think so. And I think honestly, coming into the season where we were with as many question marks, if we finish with 8 wins, to me, that shows tons of growth and potential depending on how we went about and got that. So I really like this. I really like this overall. Can you put up some highlights of Claypool? I don't have that ready to go, brother. Hold on. Let me see what I can do. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Give me 1 second, brother. I'm a man of the people. You ask for it. If I can deliver it, I'm going to damn well try to deliver it. It may kill my internet connection. So let's see. I'm not on the side of the studio with the best internet connection because that was uploading my NBA Central video. So let's see what we got here. Let's see what I can do for the people. There we go. Give me 1 second. We're going to get this together for y'all. Y'all want to see highlights? I'm going to give y'all some highlights. To the outside. The best so we're gonna talk about Chase Claypool while we got some highlights up for him. Look at that. Look at that speed. Look at that speed and size, right? Look at that speed. And that's a pass from Mitchell Trubisky. We know Justin Fields can make that pass. Listen, I'm a nice big target for Justin Fields. Nice big target. Look at that. A vertical threat. Nice receiver. We need that, man. Come on, man. I like what I'm seeing here, fam. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Most important thing is you trust him to rip it in there and know he's going to catch it. I don't think he has that confidence at the moment. That is a great point as well. That is a huge benefit for Justin to have a weapon like. Most important thing is, no, I already read that one. Pose is not messing around. That's from Todd R. That's, oh, come on, man. This is going to be big for the Bears, man. I'm telling y'all. This is going to be big. This is a great trade, I feel like. That's, look at that. All right, y'all. All right, yeah, it started killing internet reception like I thought it would. Yeah, I gotta. Somebody said I gotta get Comcast Business. I may do that. Considering how much I stream now, it may be time to. I already have the 1 gig internet, but it may be time to like really because I have like 2 completely different sets in the studio, so it may be time to really do that, man. All right, y'all. Listen, I appreciate y'all so much for tuning in. I've been live way longer than I expected to. I got to go back to work. I do work a regular 9 to 5. I took a break for this, man. Thank you. If you guys are in here, this is your first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We drop daily Bears content here at Chicago Bears Central. Make sure you follow the show at Shy Bears Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, chicagobearscentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, 773-242-9336. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bears related because you guys. Bear down.